that. Joining us now, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who's trying to implement the Trump border agenda. Governor, I mean, the state, you know, you're probably one of the most popular governors they've ever had. Donald Trump won by an incredible margin. No one predicted just, you know, a few years back. And now Republicans are part of the problem in the state legislature? Explain.
We all, as Republicans, enthusiastically supported Donald Trump's promise to conduct the largest mass deportation in American history of illegal aliens. He won a mandate in November to effectuate that. He got into office and issued bold executive orders providing a roadmap for, yes, going after the cartels, securing the border, but then enlisting local and state law enforcement in the deportation efforts. The reality is they don't have enough resources to succeed in fulfilling that mandate unless states like Florida step up. We want to make sure all of our local law enforcement and state are in the fight. They're assisting with deportations so that we can reach this record threshold and fulfill the mandate. Now, all the Republicans I know were supportive of that. They all ran on that. But now when it comes time to do it, you've got folks that don't want to do. So I called a special session of the legislature that started on Monday, 1 week after the president took office, because we wanted to be strong and we want to get the job done. The legislative leaders initially said it was premature and there was no urgency for the issue of immigration. I've been waiting 4 years to do this. I've got a lot of urgency. Then they said it was a stunt to do illegal immigration legislation, but they got really negative feedback. So they came out with a bill that they unveiled yesterday that gutted all the enforcement that I was calling for. No state and local.
Well, Governor, people are listening to this and they can't, their ears are bleeding because they're like, this can't be happening. What specifically, really quickly, did they gut from your agenda, which, again, I know is supported by the president?
Three things. One, no requirement for state and local to enforce immigration laws and work with ICE. That is a huge part of it. Two, they strip the governor, me, of authority, and they give it to the Commissioner of Agriculture. We just conducted raids with ICE. We got Chinese illegals down in Miami. We did a raid in Tallahassee. They want to give that to the Commissioner of Agriculture. They also allow catch and release. We don't think you allow catch and release. You have an illegal, they should be denied bail and turned over to ICE. So, but here's what they did, Laura, and this is, I think, the play. This is all true. It's weak bill, but they named it the Trump Act. So they think by putting the name of a strong president on a weak bill, that somehow that is going to pull the wool over the eyes. I can tell you that did not work with Florida voters yesterday. I've never seen an outpouring as negative against the legislature as what I saw yesterday. They've now had to go back. They're trying to add more window dressing to the bill, but it's still very, very weak. This is our moment. The voters sent us here to do this. We've got to be strong. We cannot let these guys squish out on this issue.
Yeah, well, Republicans squishing out on issues like this. Oh, how shocking. Oh, wait, it's not. They do this all the time. This is so predictable. I mean, I've been fighting these immigration amnesty bills for, 28 years? And that this is happening doesn't surprise me. But, you know, it's time to name names and say, look, this is what you do. You thwart the will of the people. Then you're going to be voted out of office. End of story. But they're hitting back at you, Governor. Some of the legislative leaders say this is a blatant lie about the Florida law enforcement officers who are on the front lines protecting our communities from criminal illegals. Unlike others, the legislature is not interested in misleading or attacking Floridians, et cetera, et cetera. Their goal is to work with
President
Trump.
They say, though. Notice what they say. And they're having debate now in the legislature. They say the only people you're going to enforce on is in jails, people that have committed crimes. That's not how you do interior enforcement. When we picked up the Chinese illegals today, they didn't commit crimes. The crime was being here illegally. They don't want interior enforcement. They only want to enforce on people who are already in our jails. Yeah, you do that, but that is just like 1% of what you got to do if we want to reach the threshold of having record deportations. And the final thing I'll just say, do you want to know who's shooting straight with you? They did not want to do this special session. So if they're all so gung-ho about this immigration agenda, why did I have to drag them in? Why did they deride me and say it was a stunt to do this? Why did they say immigration could wait for many months? They would not have done anything on this issue had I not pulled the trigger. Obviously, I want to be strong, and we as Republicans need to be strong. We don't have time for their weak sauce anymore on the issue of immigration.
Governor, how many illegals would you estimate are currently in the state of Florida? Because we got 15 million or so who've come in just under Biden. There's probably, I bet there's 30, 35 million total in the country. But how many do you think in the state of Florida?
Look, I've heard different estimates. I mean, certainly you're talking about hundreds of thousands. Some people say 1 million or more. I can tell you I did a really strong package of immigration bills in 2023. It has slowed the flow. There's no question, because we have mandatory E-Verify. We have nationality checks at emergency rooms. We've saved a lot of money. But the way you do it right is to have interior enforcement, and this is our moment to do it. You will see the numbers dwindle in Florida. You'll see other states follow suit, and eventually you will see President Trump's promise of having the largest deportation in American history realized if we all work together on this.
Yeah, I mean, if we got 30 million illegals in the country and we have 15 million under Biden, deporting 5,000 a week, that ain't going to get you there, right? So it's going to take local and state law enforcement to work together. And I know they're just getting started. I'm not trying to jump on them, but it's just going to require states to do something. But well, you blew the lid off this tonight, Governor. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.